Hey, good evening, everyone. Welcome back. Sunday evening. Boy, this weekend went by quick. The Blue Ridge family has a new graduate heading off to college here after the summer. I'm so proud of her, so I just wanted to throw that out there. It's been a crazy week, man. Just like prepping for the festivities and having family over, all the great stuff that comes along with it. So, I wanted to, extend a little congratulatory salute to my daughter, and I have no doubt that she is going to excel in anything that she does. Man, excitement all around. But I wanted to take some time on this Sunday evening before I did my actual physical Monday market report that I do either every Sunday night or Monday morning for the previous week of sales to talk about a coin that is absolutely just amazing, and one in which that if you came across it, you probably wouldn't even know what to think. Okay, is it counterfeit? Is it the real deal? What is it? There's a lot of things that we will talk about for this particular coin. In addition, we're also going to talk about what happens when you come across a coin like this or something similar. Okay, what is the normal kind of like steps in finding out exactly all the information you need to know before you go ahead and try and sell it or grade it or whatever you want to do. But anyways, before we get started, I want to take some time to let everybody know that we are, a couple short weeks away before the official summer giveaway season begins for Blue Ridge Silverhound. We will be giving away gift cards, silver, coins, okay, and they're going to pop up relatively frequently on a bunch of videos. Okay, so you'll want to subscribe and hit that bell for instant notification if you haven't done so already. And it's just a way for me to give back to the community after 8 years of very strong following and a lot of great service. So without further ado, let's go ahead and talk about quite possibly one of the strangest coins I've ever come across. Now, NGC had certified and authenticated this particular coin here. Now, what is it? Well, it's a 1964 Lincoln cent that was struck on a foreign planchet. Okay, there's already a lot of questions going around. It's like, okay, well, how does that happen? Is it backdoor shenanigans? I don't know. I've never been to a Philadelphia or Denver Mint, so I don't know the policies and procedures and that sort of thing. I never really officially done the tour. Maybe one day I will do so. But this coin right here was struck on a 1942 quarter rupee from India. Okay, and not just any 1942 quarter rupee from India. This one apparently was canceled. It was struck, as a final product to be used for spending and commerce in the native country. However, something with this coin went wrong to where they decided to, trash it. Okay, that's what the little diamond patterns are on the coin. So this one right here again was graded by NGC as a mint error. This one graded AU58. This one is about a year old, but I've never talked about this coin. And at the time of the news release from NGC, I really wanted to do something on this coin right here, okay, which makes a great segue into the Errors and Varieties Edu series for this summer that I'm launching for a lot of you guys. So this coin right here, okay, it's only one example, AU58, which indicates that it's circulated for quite a while before it was discovered. Now, if someone came across this coin, okay, first thing, obviously, that's going to seem kind of odd is, well, the coin is silver, okay? It's a silver planchet coin. This particular coin in itself is about the same size as a Lincoln cent. All right, so that's something that you guys need to know. And second of all, it's a 1964. So, and the India rupee is a 1942. So you got 22 years of discrepancy. I mean, did someone come into the mint with a 1942 quarter rupee and then they threw it in, the press, and bam, created a 1964 Lincoln cent? And then from there, how did it escape the mint? All right, did it escape via the normal, kind of like channels, through the ballistic bags and whatever? Did it leave that way, or was it a backdoor kind of, yeah, sneak it out, on a forklift or something? I don't know. But in this case, the coin, if you guys aren't familiar with these earlier rupees, these are .500 composition silver planchets. So, I mean, they're not, .90 or .80, it's a little bit more pure, but this one is kind of similar to the, like, let's say 1968 Canada dime, okay, in which they made some of them in that 50% composite silver. This one right here is 26 years older than that Canadian dime. Again, the odd diamond patterning on both sides is the cancellation that the mint in India did to trash the coin. Okay, much like here in the U.S. on stateside, whether it's the Philadelphia Mint or Denver, they do what they call a waffle pattern cancellation. So they'll take the coins that didn't quite meet those quality specifications, and then they'll go ahead and trash it. They have a separate machine that does this waffling pattern, I guess, which is pretty neat. Okay, if you guys haven't seen one, there's a bunch of them for sale on eBay. They're an interesting looking coin nonetheless. But this one right here, as you can see, here's an image of the coin in the NGC holder. It is definitely something to behold. Okay, it's very rare that you see this, a Lincoln cent struck on an already struck 1942 coin from another country, let alone a silver, let alone a canceled coin. But anyways, this is something that definitely warrants a little bit of a conversation, because I've had a few people in the past talk to me, about identifying coins that were struck, through the normal methods, whether it's Philadelphia Mint or Denver Mint, that were struck on foreign planchets. Okay, a few of the coins that come to mind, as you guys know, okay, the U.S. mints did produce like Philippines coinage during World War II. All right, so there's been a few examples of, some of those planchets that were intended for maybe a 5-cent Philippines coin, 5 centavos, or perhaps one of the other denominations, that instead was struck and used for the U.S. coinage, whether it's a penny, nickel, dime, quarter, you name it. I've also heard of some of the U.S. coins being struck on Panamanian planchets or Cuban planchets. It's kind of strange, and I think where it really comes down to is, if you have these coins, if they feel a little bit thicker, if the coloring is way off, now you're not going to find this on new coins. Okay, we're talking pre-1970 issues. All right, so generally you see a lot of the off-metal strikes in the 40s, okay, during the World War II period, because there was a lot of production of coins going on at that time, and the U.S. mints were kind of subsidizing the actual usage of certain metals. Like copper, they would reserve more because those were being used to make, some of the weaponry, the bullets and the guns and things like that. So they substituted, like silver or maybe perhaps nickel, So in the grand scheme of the production of some of these coins, the U.S. Mint did produce a lot of coins for various other countries. They've also had cross collaborations with Australia to produce some coins with them. They've produced some coins in South America, So, with everything going on at, say, a San Francisco Mint or a Denver Mint or a Philadelphia Mint, there's a lot of crossover. Someone would wheel in a big old hopper full of planchets that were intended for a Cuban coin, and instead a few of them had fallen out of the hopper at some point and ended up being thrown in with all of the bronze planchets for the Lincoln pennies. Oftentimes the coins will not be struck yet. you know, like the foreign coin that's for like Cuba, Panama, or whatever. Those coins have not been struck yet. So generally, the Lincoln cents, you know, will have the strikes on those foreign planchets without the original design of the coin that they were intended to be on there. So that's what makes this 1964 Lincoln cent struck on an already produced 1942 India quarter rupee somewhat of a unique coin. Okay, so the coin was never sold. This one was graded. Okay, it was submitted by a coin dealer by the name of Gregory Field, who is also a partner with New England Rarities. If you don't know who New England Rarities is, they are one of the premier retailers of some of the finest, if not rarest, coins ever seen or ever made. Okay, so you know they have that. That kind of all makes sense now, because for a coin like this to just show up out of nowhere and end up in the hands of one of the partner people of New England Rarities, you know, says a lot. Okay, so from what I can see and gather, that Gregory Field was the agent working with the family of the original owner of the coin. So to give you a little bit more information, let's see. So the coin had been used in purchase at a Brooklyn Heights, New York deli, in which the original owner, you know, worked at or owned. And you know, much like a lot of you and myself, you know, there we are casual collectors. You know, we go through change every so often, and you know, we don't go out and spend $10,000 on, you know, like a Drake bust dollar or something like that. But you know, a casual collector who, you know, likes to go through change. That's who this gentleman is. So you saw it in his change drawer in his restaurant. After it was announced silver coinage would be removed from circulation. So he knew it was silver. He pulled it out, you know, right in that 1964-65 date frame, and you know, he's had it in his possession ever since. Okay, it's never changed hands. So that's a pretty cool story in how this thing was found. Now, how it ended up in circulation to begin with, you know, again, it was probably inadvertently dropped into a batch of penny planchets, you know, at one time. Maybe someone had it in their pocket, it fell out during production, you know, when you know, these manufacturers are moving around, and you know, people lose pens and screws and paper clips out of their pockets all the time. So you just never know. But I wanted to talk about this coin. Now, in the event that you come across something that's truly unique, okay, you know, again, the color's off, the coin is way too thick, that maybe you see the impression of another coin underneath, you know, what is a nickel, dime, quarter, penny, you name it, put it aside, and then find out information if you could on it. All right, and simply my personal recommendation is go on Facebook, jump on one of the coin forum pages on there, one of those Facebook groups, and place a picture. Hey, what do you guys think about this? Aside from that, the other thing that you could do is weigh it, because the various different foreign planchets will have different weights. So if it's a Panama, you know, planchet, that will have a weight of 4.3 as an example. I don't know. But you know, if your penny weighs 4.3 as opposed to the 3.1 that it was intended to be, then you probably have something pretty interesting there. But this is a truly marvelous, miraculous looking coin. It's a find that we don't see that often, but you know, it comes up when you least expect it. All right, the more change you go through, the better your odds are of finding some really unique stuff, just like this 1964 Lincoln cent. So I wanted to talk about this today, okay? Talk about, I guess, in a more, you know, blanketed statement of like, you know, coins that are struck on foreign planchets. What do you do? All right, so I kind of gave you a little bit of information on it. It's going to be up to you to do more of the research, okay? If you feel like you found a pre-1970s penny that was struck on something else, the first course of action is to put it aside. Do not spend it. All right, it is just a penny at the end of the day. We don't need it to buy, a tank of gas or anything. So, anyways, I'm your host, Blue Ridge Silverhound. I want to thank everyone for joining in on this somewhat kind of scatterbrained, unique subject. I hope I didn't lose you guys in the grand scheme of things. As always, feel free to share. Feel free to subscribe. If you want some free giveaway swag, that's what we're doing. Yeah, for those of you that have made it all the way through the video. And thank you so much for all the views and the support. I appreciate it, and so does everyone in my family. Okay, well, we all love you guys, and I want to thank you for joining in on this pretty neat broadcast. So, by the way, I want to congratulate all the graduates out there of 2019. So, the class of 2019, best of luck to everyone. You guys have a wonderful evening. Stay tuned for the Monday Market Report.